I want to start by saying something that I think we do not say enough. Being of a certain age and still in process is not a failure. It is not a sign that you missed something. It is not proof that you're not paying attention. So, okay, I hate to hear something, and I need you just to let me think before you judge me. Actually, before you judge yourself. Because I have a feeling that what I'm about to say is going to land somewhere real for you. For me, I am a 50-year-old woman. I have master's degrees. I've traveled the world. I have over 20 years experience with people through some of the hardest moments of their lives. And these are things, real things that I am still figuring out. Things that I thought I would have handled by now. And for a long time, I kept that quiet. But I'm done keeping it quiet. So here we go. Like I said earlier, I want to start by saying that I think that we do not say this enough. At a big old age like ourselves or certain ages, that we are still processing that, we don't have to be at a certain point in our life and still be considered a failure. Is that a sign that you missed something? You know, it is not proof that you're not paying attention. It's actually proof that you're still alive and still willing to grow. And that matters more than having it all figured out. But I want to be honest with you. I did not always believe that. For a long time, I believed that when I became older, I started getting to my 40s and now I'm 50, was supposed to look a certain way, settled, secure, sure of myself. Like by this point, you're supposed to have all the answers. You're supposed to know who you are. You're supposed to be able to lock it in. And when you're 50 and you're like that, and you did not have that space, when I looked around and realized I was still asking some of the same questions I was asking at 35, I felt kind of embarrassed that I did not know what to do with that. So let me tell you what I was embarrassed about. And I mean really embarrassed, not the surface, level stuff, the real stuff. I was embarrassed and ashamed at my age. I was still figuring out what I actually wanted. Not what makes sense on paper, not what everybody around me needs from me, what I, just me, actually want for my life. Because here's the truth. When you spend 20 plus years showing off other people in your career, in your relationship, in your family, you get really good at reading what everyone else needs. And you get really out of practicing who you are in yourself. And then one day you sit down and someone asks you a simple question like, what do you want? And you realize with your whole body that you genuinely do not know. And that is a strange place to be at any age. It's definitely over 40. But it's also, and I have learned, a necessary place to be. A very necessary place to be. Because you cannot build what you actually want until you know what it is. I wasn't embarrassed that I was a blurb or a black nerd at 50. And I've only just started really fully owning that, honestly. I watched my first anime a couple, maybe 2 years ago, and it wrecked me to the the best possible way. Attack on Titans had me in my feelings and ways I was not prepared for. And for a minute, I thought that I was too old for this. Is that weird? Should I be somewhere doing something more serious? And I realized this is serious. The stories were connected to something that talks about me or other people and about themselves. And the fact that I found people, my actual people, I thought anime and Comic Con and pop culture conferences at 50 was it. It's not embarrassing at all. It's one of the best things that could ever have happened to me. And I'm getting people now, 65, 70 years old, talking to them about comics and anime and Marvel. I wasn't embarrassed that I started that more time. I just wish I would have had been exposed to it much more earlier than I am now. I thought I was building, and for a long time, I read all of that as an insanity, as proof that I could not commit to things, as evidence that something was wrong with me until I started seeing it differently, until I realized that every restart was not a failure. Every restart was me refusing to settle. every thought was me saying, this is not quite it yet, but I am not done looking. And there's actually something really out there powerful about a woman who keeps going even when the paths keep changing. Huh. Whew. I mean, you know, ask yourself, was I embarrassed that I am still learning how to rest? Still learning how to do things as not at the same time as falling behind? Still learning that my worth is not attracted to my output? That one is still a work in progress. I will be honest about that because when you have spent your whole life, the one who with the who handle things, the one who figures it all out, the one who shows up, the one who makes it work, sitting still feels like a betrayal. Everything you've built yourself to be. But rest is not a betrayal, Queen. Rest is a requirement, and I am learning that slowly, but I'm learning it and I am taking it all in. And here is the one thing that got me the most. I was embarrassed that at 50, I'm still unlearning who I had to be to survive because that sounds like something you should have dealt with already, right? That sounds like work you should have done in your 30s and 40s. But the truth is that unlearning does not come with a deadline. And the layers that lifts or put up that life puts you on, the ones that help you survive, the ones that keep you safe, the ones that make you useful and lovable and acceptable, those layers do not fall off because you reach a certain age. Oh no, you have to actually choose to take them off. So one at a time and take your time. I'm finally choosing that. Not because I have it all together, because I'm finally tired of the weight of I had to be and ready for the freedom of who I actually am. So if you're sitting with something similar right now, if you're in your 40s, heading towards 50s, or you're already here and you're older beyond, if you're 20s and 30s, and you thought you would feel more certain by now, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not behind. You are not broken. You do not miss that window. The window is not closed. It's actually wide open. And for some of us, just now, it's opening all the way. My second half is not the consultation prize. It's the part where you finally have enough of yourself back to actually living on your own terms. And that is something to be not embarrassed about. That is something to show up for. So here we go together. Remember, knowing yourself is not selfish. It is so necessary. Check yourself so you can always be yourself. This is Lakenya Tam. This is the Empowerment Click. And this is a watch. Peace.